Welcome to A+ Magazine Merchandising Training. Over the next few minutes, we will demonstrate the details established for performing weekly in-store touch-up service, or more commonly known as the touch visit. This video will provide a how-to overview of the tools, responsibilities, and the role you will play in merchandising the magazines you represent in-store during the touch visit. Let's review the steps required to perform the in-store touch visit. Here are the steps. Upon entering the store, call into the IVR from a store phone. Make sure you know the chain and store number prior to making the call. Sign into the vendor log if required. Check in with store management. Review the merchandising sheets and instructions. Check the conditions of the checkout magazine area. Check the conditions of the mainline magazine area. Call IVR to answer the survey questions and sign out of the vendor log. Like every job we do, the tools we use are important, and with the weekly touch merchandising visit, this is true as well. Before you enter the store, please be sure to have an ID badge identifying you as the magazine merchandiser, a pen and notepad. This will allow you to write down any information about the store conditions that you just observed. The weekly IVR information, including chain name, store number, and survey number. This is important so that when you call into IVR, you can answer the questions for this store you just merchandised. Also have weekly and monthly chain newsletters providing insight on what titles are on sale and pocket rotation if necessary. We'll explain more about this later on in the video. The survey fill sheet. It will provide you with the questions being asked through the IVR system. And last but not least, customer service and a smile. Okay, now you are ready to review each step in detail that we discussed earlier. Step 1. Upon entering the store, call into IVR to record your time in that store. Use the store phone if possible. Step 2. Sign in the vendor logbook if available. Next, say hello to the store manager or key personnel. A simple hello goes a long way, and tell them you are there to touch up the magazines and ask if they have any questions or concerns. Check for any putbacks. Sometimes these can be found at customer service. These are magazines that have been removed from the proper display and held in a shopping cart or plastic bin by store personnel. Outdated magazines need to be processed for return. Current magazines need to be merchandised back onto the magazine fixtures. The next step is to proceed to the front checkout area to check the conditions of the magazine racks. Being more specific, check to see if there are any missing or damaged fixtures. If yes, make a note and report this to the customer service or your supervisor. Discuss any blockage with the front-end manager, including clip strips, grocery bags, and floor displays in front of magazine fixtures for removal. Please note that floor displays should be at least 2 feet from the front of the magazine fixture. Remove any trash or products from magazine pockets. Verify the titles on the racks and set according to the POG by checking the logos and tags. If not, merchandise the rack to match the POG. Record any missing logos or tags in your notepad and report them to customer service or your supervisor. Fill empty pockets at all checkouts, including any single pockets generally found at the express or U-scan registers. Place emphasis on moving titles from the slower, typically middle or unused registers to the express lanes or lead wings. Remove outdated magazines that may have made their way to the checkout area since the last visit and process for return. Record any titles out of stock in your notepad, then check the back room or customer service for any back stock. Record answers to any required surveys that are to be entered into WebTracker for stores serviced same day. If no back stock is available, spread product from slower or closed registers to racks at busiest registers. Your goal is to have no empty pockets, if possible with the busiest check lanes containing the most copies. If no copies are available, report out-of-stock product to customer service or your supervisor. Now that the front-end checkout area is looking good, we need to check the condition of the mainline and any auxiliary racks in other parts of the store. The mainline is the magazine section located in an aisle or at the front of the store. This magazine section contains multiple titles, and in most circumstances, these titles are categorized by editorial subject. Check mainline for category compliance. If mainline has a planogram, ensure title is in correct position on the shelf. Review the newsletter and merchandise the feature pocket, commonly known as New and Notable, with the correct titles. Look for duplicate buy pads and remove any that are out of date. Remove any trash, other products, or inserts from shelf. Reorder low or out-of-stock titles through customer service or your supervisor. Ensure proper title rotation. Out with the old, in with the new. Remove out-of-date magazines and place in totes as the normal return process. In order to be an A-plus merchandiser, it is important that you know your store. This includes where the outpost, cross-merchandising fixtures including sidekicks, power panels, pellet, table displays, and lane blockers are located. It is important to restock these auxiliary displays, as a stock display is the best display. Do not risk your display being removed due to a lack of product or service. This applies to corrugated magazine displays as well. Keeping them full keeps them on the floor. Is there anything else that needs to be reported? Write it on the notepad and notify customer service or your supervisor. Once all these steps are completed, be sure to call out of IVR and sign out of the vendor log. If required, complete the after-service survey. Record your answers before you leave the store to ensure accurate reporting. Then record answers on Web Tracker the same day as this service. Now that the front end, the main line, and all auxiliary magazine fixtures have been merchandised as illustrated, all out-of-date magazines have been returned, and store personnel know you have completed the service, let's review to see if you have what it takes to be an A-plus merchandiser. Did you call into the IVR and sign the vendor logbook? Greet the store manager upon entering the store? Ensure there are no empty or encroached pockets? Spread copies across all pockets for all magazine titles, placing more copies in checkouts with heavier sales, including express and U-scans. Check that all outdated magazines have been processed for return. Ensure that all magazines have been merchandised to the POG at the checkout, main line, and auxiliary fixtures. Merchandise the feature title and new and notable pockets with the correct product. Place reorders for low or out-of-stock titles. Report to customer service or your supervisor fixture information changes, including racks or logos that are missing or damaged. Report out-of-stock products or distribution issues to customer service or your supervisor. Follow up with store manager prior to leaving the store. Note any required survey answers in store prior to leaving and record answers on Web Tracker the same day as service. Call out of IVR and sign out of the vendor book. The work you do is incredibly important, and the effort you put into merchandising our magazine products is truly appreciated. So once again, we're happy to have you representing our company as an A-plus merchandiser. Good luck!